Huh? Hey, I'm tryna win. I'm tryna win in the 716 and I'm making it big. I wanna live. I think I'm ready to.
Yo, what's good, man? It's Easy Pinch Out Podcast with your one and only host, Glory Boy here with the next special guest in the building. Yeah. I just want to say thank you so much. I know you're a very busy woman, but you still made time to be present, and it's a pleasure having you on my show. So how is your day going so far? I just want to start off from there.
Yeah, first I want to say thank you. I don't like to say I'm busy. Like, I don't like to, put that out there, like, because I have time for the things that matter,
Right.
But my day is good. I got a workout in with my husband, did some training, and now I'm here with you, and I think it's amazing.
It's crazy. What time do you guys wake up for training?
Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 5 a.m.
5 a.m.
But we probably get to the gym around 6.
Wow, so 5 a.m., 6 a.m. every day.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday, sorry. And how is that like?
It's great.
It's
I love it.
amazing.
Honestly, so we used to, we've been together for almost 10 years. It'll be 10 years in June.
Wow.
But when we first started dating, we went to the gym together all the time. Like, it was part of our connecting time. So then when we got married, we would do this thing called Wifey Wednesday. And it was just really like our time to connect, and we would just have fun, and we would laugh and dance and just, not take it too seriously. So we kind of got away from that in the last couple of years because he got busier.
Right.
And now we're starting to bring it back. So it's been probably like a few years that we haven't done this. And now that we're starting to do it again, it's like, oh, it just makes me so happy because.
Do you think that's one? You think that's one thing that have kept your relationship very strong for a very long time?
Absolutely. I noticed the difference when we are not working out together, because working out is so good for my mental.
Okay.
Like my body, spirit, all of that, it's all connected. So when I'm working out, I'm my best self. But then when we're working out together, we're our best selves.
Right.
And it's so amazing. So yeah, it's really exciting. So you could actually see he does post the videos on social media. Cause
you mentioned like if you guys do not work out, things don't really feel good.
Yeah.
What's some things that don't feel good when you guys are not like exercising together?
It's just like the connection, because a lot of times we're often two ships passing, right? Like, so he owns his own business, I'm working part-time and also building my business while also, just the day-to-day house stuff. So he'll be working 7 days a week, and then as soon as he's coming in, I gotta leave. Right. So when we create that time for ourselves, it's like, okay, we're intentionally creating time for us to connect, as opposed to us just like crossing at the doorway and saying like, hey, love you, 3 kisses and now I'm out. Right. It's like you feel more foundationally supported when we're doing these things together. And then for me personally, like, I got to be moving my body. And if I'm not doing that, I'm not my best self. So then together, we're not going to be our best self.
I saw when you actually walked in here, you had so much energy.
Yeah.
It's like you're just very energetic person.
I guess.
That's good. That's good. It keeps the blood flowing and all that. But yeah, so I just wanted to just start off with a little, how do you call that? A little
icebreaker.
Get to
just like get a little.
Yeah, just get a little feel.
Taste.
Exactly. But yeah, man, y'all go ahead and hit the subscribe button, man. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this video. And yeah, so let's start. Just tell the people who you are, what you do, and then we can just go from there.
Oh my gosh, I feel like the question like who are you is a hard question.
What you mean?
Oh my gosh, it's just I don't know. It's just, who am I? Like, to sum myself up in a few sentences, it's like, what would I choose? Okay, so I'm Ashley Middleton, and we always lead with our occupation, and I think that's probably why we reduce ourselves to what we do.
Right.
And who we serve and support, right? Rather than like, who am I? So who am I? I'm a person, I'm a lover of all things personal development. I love to grow. I'm a person that deeply, deeply spiritual person.
Right.
And I think I'm a thoughtful person. I'm always thinking, and I'm a planner. I like to see and plan. I like to envision the future, and I think that I do that really pretty well. Outside of that, the stuff that I would probably identify with personally, I'm a wife to Rod, and we're dog parents to Miko. I'm a daughter, and I own my own business. So I've recently started my own business about 2 years ago.
Nice.
Originally it was called the Middleton Center, but now it's called Radiate Coaching and Development. And then I also work part-time in a local nonprofit organization called Buffalo Prep. So one of the things that I love to do is I love to grow and I love to expand like my knowledge and my experience. And
Right.
I was given afforded the opportunity to really step into a new career, and Buffalo Prep was there. And I love connecting with the scholars. I love doing what I do, like event planning, things like that. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
I like that. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just a way for people to get to even know you.
Yeah.
And like before we even planned this podcast, one thing that I said to you was that I like to keep things authentic.
Yeah.
You're like, man, this is the best place. Like, I'm a very authentic person. Like,
Well,
I'm,
that's my number one value, right? So
Exactly.
I'm so big on like having core values, and my number one value is authenticity. So
Right.
in anything that I do, when I'm interacting with someone on the street, if I'm talking to someone in a podcast or in my job, I want to be myself. And that's one of the core pieces of my business, is helping support people in identifying like what does that authenticity sound like for you? You know, identifying it so you know when you're aligned.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, so
That's true.
yeah.
That's true. That's why I feel like that's what builds organic relationships.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when people are very open minded and open to talk to you and tell you about themselves or
Yeah.
whatever topic you guys are discussing about. So Ashley, so tell us, like, where were you born? Were you born like in Buffalo or from like
Yeah, man. Born and raised Buffalo,
Buffalo.
Mercy Hospital. That's where I was born.
Nice.
My parents are from Lackawanna, and then I grew up in like South Buffalo. Moved to the West Side, lived there for a little bit, and then my mom moved me out to Kenmore, and I was so mad at her.
Why were you mad?
I was so mad at her because it was a culture shock.
Right.
It was a culture shock. So going from the West Side, which is like a very culturally diverse space in the 80s. So I was born in 85. Anyways, so born in the 80s. So it was like a large group of people, just different. And then more people that look like me, Black and Puerto Rican. So it was just community. And then moving into a neighborhood or a space where there wasn't many people that looked like me, it was a culture shock. But yeah, so born and raised in Buffalo, for sure.
Man, yeah, that's amazing. That's
Yeah.
amazing. And before we even continue, I just want to say it's crazy how we both got matching sweaters, you know. And
Great minds.
You know what I'm
The
saying?
energy.
The energy and all that. And plus, the crazy thing is, look at the back, right?
Okay. Okay, it's a college.
It's like kind of like, yeah, like
Oh,
the
so-
designs too, kind of like similar designs. It's just so, you know, when you first walked in here, I'm like, hey, you got this. Well, we got
We didn't
matching
plan
hoodies.
this.
We didn't plan this. You know, we didn't plan this, and we were both, you know, just coming here, rushing and whatever, just getting things started. But yeah, and let's talk about basically just growing up in the West Side, and before moving to Kenmore and all that. Like, what was some of the best things that you enjoyed just living in the West Side of Buffalo?
Oh my gosh. I just love, oh my gosh, the best times that I think of is just the kids on my street and all of us just playing. And that was like some of my best times, some of my most favorite times. And our backyard, we had this big tree in our backyard. and I lived on Winter Street, so you know where Lenova is.
Lenova, yeah. Lenova
So-
on Ferry.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Lenova, just behind Lenova is Winter Street. It's one block, and there was this amazing huge tree in the backyard, and this probably wasn't even that big, but in my mind, you know, like in your mind as a kid, things are so much bigger than what they really are.
Right.
And it was right up against the, you know, the pool behind like the community center. There was a pool back there, and we would always be in the backyard climbing the tree, like just hanging on the fence, making mud pies,
Wow.
doing crazy things, just being kids. And oh, I loved it. I loved it so much. It was a good time.
So like in terms of like safety and all of that, like how was it back then for the kids? Because nowadays it's like parents are really scared to like their kids go outside and play,
Yeah,
you know,
and
rather
that's
than
so
before.
sad.
Exactly.
But just as an example, okay, I went to school 18. I lived on Winter Street. So school 18 is,
So you was a walker.
I walked, yeah. But we moved to Kenmore when I was in third grade. So I finished my third grade year
Okay.
at school 18. My cousin and I, we walked to school. He and I, and he's only a couple years older than me.
Right.
So one of the things that my mom did say, the reason why we ultimately, you know, made the decision to move was it was getting a little bit bad.
Right.
So when the trigger point, for lack of a better word, was there was a bullet in the backyard, which is sad. But that was probably what year? 1993 we moved. So up until that point, it was fine. To me,
Yeah.
I thought it was good.
Right. I mean,
You know?
because you was just being a kid,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and just playing with your friends, building. You have maybe friends like you say you used to climb the tree and just climb the fences, and you know all those best times ever. And then let's talk about the moment like throughout like in the West Side, in terms of like social media, because I know social media wasn't part of
Oh, no.
you know of that time. being-
1993.
you know,
Come
so
on.
yeah, social media, there was no like Facebook, Instagram. So like let's talk about just how did that help you in terms of like relationship building as a young kid and communicating with your peers and family and all of that.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, I think that I was I'm awkward as an adult, but I was also an awkward child. So I don't know. I don't remember like how I made friends. I think it was just like my school friends that we just became friends. And the people in the neighborhood, you know, you just play. You just play.
Right.
You just connect. And I think now if you ask kids like, do they have neighborhood friends? You really
Not
like
really.
you really don't, because people are so connected on social media. Kids are going to schools that might not be in their neighborhood. You know, all the kids that I went to school with were kids that were on my block. You know, we go to the public school, everybody goes to the same school, so it's like, you know, or everybody lives in the same neighborhood at least. So there was that connection. And even when I moved to Kenmore, I went to public school. The kids on my street, we would be playing too. But for me, for whatever reason, that time on the West Side was like stands out so much in my mind, just because it was my formative years, it was my early years, and I felt so much more connected to them because we had some shared community, some
Right.
shared heritage, even, you know. So, but now I feel like I don't know how I would do building a community or friends like if I was younger with social media, because it just skews your view of
Yeah.
the world.
Yeah, I mean, have you heard about Florida? They're actually banning social media for kids under the age of 16, I believe.
Really?
Yeah, if you're 16 and below,
Okay.
you can't use.
Like banned completely?
Yeah, most likely, like you have to be over 16 to be able to use social media and all of that. What's your thought on that?
So I think anytime we start going like sweeping ban, that's a little bit tricky for me, right? I think I think it's important for the parents to be able to make the decision, but I really think it's important for the parents to monitor, you know, like have guardrails and things like that. But then you can scroll. I mean, how many times have you scrolled on social media and you come across something that's like, you're like, I know that's not true,
Right.
you know? And kids don't have the discernment, you know, their brains are not fully developed enough to be able to discern if this is factual or not, right? Like they're trying to take in the world. So I don't know if a full sweeping ban is it. I think the parents should be, if they're active parents. I'm not a parent. So
You're not a parent.
no, well, I'm a dog parent. So I can't say necessarily what a parent should and should not do.
Right.
But I do believe that it's harmful. I mean, look at even as us as adults, it's harmful to us.
Oh yeah, very.
So
Very. It's just, I feel like it's just how you utilize it, like you said. And
yeah.
and I mean, I'm not a parent as well, but I feel like based on the effect of social media and how we actually see it through our own lenses, and how you can go on social media and see the way kids are, or the way a lot of kids tend to, because social media is so powerful, so a lot of kids tend to take like whatever they see on there and implement it onto their lifestyle is just insane.
I know.
You know, so
And also like the body dysmorphia that it causes for girls. I know myself even.
That's
If
true.
I'm looking on TikTok and it has that, you know, glamour filter on, and I'm looking at it, and then I take it off, I'm like, oh my gosh, like let me put that back on because I like the way I looked then. But you just it just gives you this body dysmorphia that is
that
so
is-
sad,
that
especially
is
for girls.
true.
Yeah.
That is true because I've came across a group of women one time. It was like at a party. So they were like, "Can you take us a picture? Can you take us a picture?" So I removed the filter. She said, "No, just put this filter."
Put the filter
And
back
I'm
on.
like, "Why do you need a filter on?" You know, and like you said, it's just it kind of like plays with your mind.
Yes.
You know, it makes you look different. All these updates, all this social media platform coming out with like different filters that makes your skin clear. Now it makes you not even want to love your
Who you
skin
are.
for what it is, you know, which is very insane. So now let's go straight into your business, Radiate Coaching and Development, which is basically, I feel like, do you talk to your clients about certain things like this, or and how did your business actually start from the jump?
So, I'm gonna do my best not to be long-winded, okay? But in order to kind of know where I am now, I have to go back a little bit. So I worked in corporate for all of my life. All of my jobs have been in the corporate setting, and I was at my last job for 16 years until 2022. And during that time, you know, that 16-year time, I was in college, didn't really know what I wanted to do, finishing up my degree, and I realized working in this corporate space that I'm a coach. Like, I love coaching people. I love supporting people and getting them from where they are to where they want to be, or, you know, just defining their values, defining themselves and their leadership style. So going into this career was really intended to just be a bridge to get me from where I was to postgraduate.
Right.
And it turned out to be a real defining moment in my life, and it helped me see what I'm really capable of. So in 2022, the organization that I was with, they did a lot of restructuring, and I was given the opportunity to take severance. And I was like, for a long time, I had like one foot in, one foot out, trying to figure out what it is that I'm supposed to be doing in the world. And I wanted to start my own business, but I never really had like that push. And I took this as a sign that our creator was saying, girl, you better get out there. You better go do something. Okay. So, because I was comfortable, you know, being someplace for 16 years, that is the epitome of comfort. You know, you get used to the people, the routine, the schedule, the money, all of that. And I had to kind of step out and take this leap. So Radiate Coaching and Development really started out as something called the Middleton Center. And that was really the only name I could think of, because I was like, I'm going to start my business. And I did it really fast. So I took all the things that I loved about my job. Rising leader development, DEI facilitation, coaching. And I was like, this is what I want to do, right? This is who I know myself to be, and I want to go out and in the world and be able to do that. So created the Middleton Center, and then for all of 2020, so it was in 2022, 2023, I took time to like learn. I went through the Center for Entrepreneurial Leadership through UB. I went through that program for emerging entrepreneurs, and then I also got executive leadership coaching certification through UB. And so I was just learning a lot for the first year. And then, stop me if I'm talking too much.
Oh no, that's the whole point. You know why a lot of people actually have told me like, hey, we like your podcast because you let us speak.
Okay, well, thank you.
You ask a question and you just sit down and listen, because I feel like that's how it should be. When you're interviewing someone, you don't have to bombard them with questions. You have to allow them to tell you exactly what you want to hear, and then when they're done, you move to the next. So yeah, keep going.
Well, listen, thank you for
Most
the
definitely.
permission, because
Most
I
definitely.
could talk. So Radiate ended up happening because I was, I'm on my own spiritual journey, and I was walking one day, and there's a credit union near my house, and it's called Radius.
Okay.
And my original slogan for the Middleton Center was like meeting you where you are, right? Because my goal is to support the individual wherever they are. So whether it be early in your career, you're even in high school, you're trying to, learn how to do interviews and speak, authentically, I want to support you. But then I saw this Radius credit union, and it said something like banking that revolves around you. And I was like, this is something,
Right.
right? Like I always say, keep your eyes, your ears, and your heart fully open to all the signs around you, right? So that was a sign that was coming to me. And then I sat down on my kitchen island, and I was like, Radius. And for me, and at that moment, what I was learning about my spiritual journey is that it's all about putting out, like the energy of putting out into the world, and then it comes back, right? So I'm going to get a tattoo here. I keep saying it. I'm scared, though.
It's like an infinity sign.
An infinity symbol. You picking up what I'm putting down?
Hey, come on with
got
the
it.
8.
Hey, radiate. You see it. You see it, right?
Yeah.
So that was I was just writing radial, radius, radiate, and then I took that 8 and I put it 8, and I was like, this is it.
That's the one.
This is it. Because what we do, it's most important is for us to find our joy first. Like our work is our work. Like sometimes we like go and we're like, oh, when I get this thing, then I'm going to be good. When I get, or you're looking for other people to like make you, validate you, justify all the things. But like once you find the thing within you, and then you let that shine out into the world, then that's just going to continue to come coming back. And it's just like this constant flow of energy where like you put it out into the world and then it's going to come back to you.
Yep.
But it starts with you first. So long-winded, we're back. Radiate was created just out of the desire for me to want to do more, be more, give more to the world, but first give to myself.
Amen.
Yeah. So
You come first, always.
yeah.
But also, speaking of just when you first, when you were just writing down the names and all that, coming out with your business, did you ever like include people throughout your process as you were writing down names and trying to come up with your business and that idea? And if you did, do you think that's the best way to do it, or do you? Because some people may say, when I'm writing down or doing something, I like to do it by myself until it's done. Because when it's not done and I'm telling people, sometimes it does not work out.
Yeah.
But for you, like how did that process go for you?
So as social as I seem, right, with us talking one-on-one, I am very much an introvert. I do something also called Hogan assessments. And one of the identifiers, I would say, or attributes in the assessment is it really gauges like your introversion, your reservation, and sociability and all of that. I am very low on all of those things, right? I am always going to be within myself first. I connect better one-to-one rather than in larger groups, right? But for me at the time, I had already been working collectively in a group because I was doing the emerging entrepreneurs class.
Okay.
So I like to use the time that I'm working with other people as just idea generating, you know? But when it comes to my work, it's always going to be quiet time. It's always going to be me sitting at a table with my journal, you know, with some brown noise going. Like, it's always going to be me quietly meditating, listening, you know, and just paying attention, because that I don't want to get too distracted by what other people are doing. I don't want to get distracted by what somebody else thinks I should do, because that's just what their minds can see. I already know, like, for me, what's for me is going to come from that energy that's within me.
Most
you know?
definitely, most definitely.
So,
On your website, you highlighted 3 words: empower, transform, and radiate.
yeah.
So speaking of empower, talk to us about empower in your own definition based on, you know, just your business and all of that.
Yeah. So I empower is, I think, in a sense of coaching, I think it's letting the person see that they have the power within them, right? Encouraging them to tap into that power within them. So for me, it's just, I'm shining the light, right? I'm just showing them like what is within them already to help them stand firm, to help support them and stand firm. So that's when I think of empowered. Actually, my podcast is right now called Figuring It Out, but I'm rebranding it to Empowered to Shine.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, right? Because I think it aligns well with Radiate. But when you empower someone, you just show them, like, look at what you are capable of.
Right.
Like, do you understand that?
A lot of people needs that.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people tend to start something and then just give up.
Yeah.
But when, like you said, when you empower them, when you show them you have the power to become this person, you know, it changes lives.
Yeah.
Really. And then you also have transform. So what is that? How would you define that?
Growth, right? Like growth. When you think of transformation, you're not the same.
That's it.
Right? You're not the same anymore. So you've been empowered to see yourself for the greatness that you are, for the power that you have within you. And now you're going to take that and you're going to use it to grow. And then once you do that, you shine. You radiate. I don't know. I get so excited. I love it so much. I really do. And it's just, I know it's a baby and I have to speak power over my business, right? But I know right now it's just so new.
I feel like every business is not as big because not everyone has the ability to wake up and say, you know, I want to work for myself. You know, because people are scared of risks.
Yeah. Oh my gosh,
People are afraid of risks.
I'm
like
terrified.
But don't be terrified of it.
No,
Why is that though?
That's the only reason that I would ever stay somewhere for 16 years, because of security, because of stability, because I'm really cautious, right? And I think that I'm an only child. I'm an only child on my mom's side. I do have 3 siblings on my dad's side, but I grew up with my mom as an only child. So I never really had older siblings that went out and messed it up and did all the things so that I could look and be like, oh, I could test the limits a little bit. I never really had that. So I'm always looking at all of my people around me and I'm like, okay, they did this. So it scared me more. right? So the decisions that like the people in my family around me, like that they were making scared me more to be like, I'm just going to choose the path of least resistance and I'm going to be safe, right? And I'm going to get this job and I'm going to work this job because it's safe. Because I don't want to be out looking crazy. So taking a risk, I think as I've gotten older, I'm going to be 40 in July. I've learned that I have to take some risks. I have to jump. I have to do this. So I'm more risky now than I was when I was a kid, than I was when I was starting my career. But it is scary. It is so scary because you don't, the things that we think as humans, we don't think that we're going to, if we jump, that we're going to be caught. But we know that we will, right? Like, I have this thing that I say is like, I know it in my brain, but it hasn't moved down to my like inner knowing, my heart yet. Like, I know in my head that like, if I jump, I will be okay. But it hasn't like settled on my heart yet to know like once I really give this my all 100%, like I will be caught.
Right. Yeah, that's I mean, I like how you put it in there. So like most people tend to take risks because they have seen someone else take it, and it gives them that ability, that comfortability to say, you know what, they have failed, so, and then they pick themselves up. Yeah. But you growing up as the only child with your mother, it wasn't like that.
Yeah,
that's why it kind of gave you that pushback, like, man, like I'm not ready to take a risk.
Gotta be safe.
And do you think it's too late to take a risk? Because I know. I was just having a conversation with someone, like you said, 16 years just working at the company, and you was just like, I'm safe here. But now that you're taking risks, it's very, like, it's insane. Like, you waited this long to take a risk. You know, like the owner of KFC, he was like 56, I think, when he first opened up KFC.
Okay.
You know, and he became a billionaire at 56.
Yeah.
It's insane. You know, but like, do you think
it's late?
It's never too late?
Never too late. I don't think so. I think because when age is like a mentality, right? So doesn't matter. We put all of these expectations on ourselves. Okay. I graduate high school. I'm gonna go to college or not. I'm gonna graduate. I'm gonna get a job. I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna meet a person that's going to be my significant other. We're going to get married, and then we're going to have children, and then we're going to do this. And it's like this timeline that people expect of you, right? And by the time you're 30, you're like, oh, everything's done. No. Like, I know people who didn't create their businesses until they were 40, 50, right? You always have an opportunity to begin again. You always have an opportunity to start.
Right.
Doesn't matter when. Most of the people... Like, look at what's the Harry Potter girl? J.K. Rowling. I don't remember how old she was, but there's a meme that went around social media talking about all of the people who, you know, who started their journeys later in life. And I think that if we're putting the messaging out into the world that it's too late for them to do something, then people are not going to strive for more.
That's true. People are not going to strive for more because, like you said, they have that expectation and the timeline.
Yeah.
Of, you know, me coming from my country, it's like they have that timeline amongst everybody.
Yeah.
You know, like they expect women to be married by like 20s. You know, they expect men.
I failed.
To have families, to have kids.
Failed.
By like 30s. You know, like, so it's insane how like we allow that to kind of dictate the way we want to live our life. I don't know. Let me find this video because you know the guy named Gary.
Gary V.
Gary V.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Gary did actually say something in regards to that, where he was speaking to people and telling them like it's never too late. And he said, because I like the way he's very straightforward.
He's super
like
straightforward.
Stop worrying about what the next person has going on.
Right.
You know, this person became a millionaire at 25. Yes, that's them. But your timeline is different. Why are you looking at what the next person is doing?
And this is the thing too. When you're doing something that other people are doing, it's not going to work because you got to find the thing that you need to do for you.
Right.
Right. So let's think about this. There's sometimes where people you could bend time. When you're doing something that is so aligned, when you're doing something that is for you, matches your values, aligned with your mission, your vision, and you just put your head down and go, your timeline might end up being shorter than if you were going and doing something that other people expected you to do. Right. I say you can affect change more quickly by being who you are than by being what people expect you to be.
Amen. Hey, preach.
Hey.
All right, so I got this video up here.
28 and you don't have shit. If you're sitting and watching right now and you're 28 and you don't have shit, and you can get shit. Like, it's okay. Just because you're not winning at 23 or 27 or 32, you're not finished. We're in the first quarter. I started my company at 34 years old in another company's conference room because we had no money. I was 34 before I ever made $100,000 a year. How old are you?
I'm 27.
You got fucking time. It's a balance of regret and patience. Like, you can go hard on for 3 years, do nothing right, wake up, and be young as fuck.
When is it time to panic?
70? Because fucking Colonel Sanders came out with some KFC shit late. There's some people watching right now that are 25, and they like feel sad because they're not a millionaire. That's fucking asinine. You can accomplish a lot. Everyone's so anxious. Everyone wants it so fast. Everybody wants to keep up with the Joneses. They want to make it now so they can show or enjoy. To me, enjoy the process of your career, not the money you make from your career so you can then enjoy.
You see, you know, like that's where I was coming from like that question that I asked, because a lot of people tend to worry so much about time, you know, like, oh my God, like it's too late for me, like, oh, I need to do this. I feel like it's because it's the societal expectation, you know, like whatever culture you're from, it's like it makes you feel like you're rushing, like you have to get all of these things done at a certain time. And I feel like that's where like a lot of people tend to face those mental breakdowns and, you know, mental health issues, because you're doing things that you should just be patient with. Yeah. Enjoy the process. You know?
It's all made up.
Right.
It's all of this is made up. And we're just like, oh, I gotta do this by this time. I gotta do this because this is what's tradition. This is what my family did, or what, you know, it's all made up. And once we realize that, then we can like step aside and just do what we need to do for ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. And so like I wanna also jump straight to radiate.
Yeah.
So you have the word radiate as well, which is the number 3.
Yeah.
So let's talk more about that. So
Yeah.
how would you define radiate, and how do you use that to benefit the people that you're coaching and helping them develop throughout like their lives?
Yeah. So the word in itself, right? Radiate, to me, it feels like shine, right? I don't know what Webster's definition of radiate is, but I know the feeling that it gives me is the feeling of energy, the feeling of when you think of the rays, like the sun rays, right? Even radiation, right? It's powerful. It's powerful. You can't even see it, but you can't always see it.
Right.
Right? You can't see the energy, but you can feel it. Right? And you can't see the Bluetooth, but you can hear it. And that's radiate. That's energy. So what that is essentially finding it, tapping into it within yourself, and then putting it out into the world, putting your energy out into the world.
Most definitely. And speaking of like the people that you've coached so far, how do they respond to your program?
So I've done a lot of one-to-one coaching, and I've done a lot of like corporate coaching.
Okay.
And what I find is the people, even if I'm connected with them by, you know, the organization, they're saying, oh, this person needs coaching, or like, we have budgets to do this number of people, and this is who you're going to be paired up with. We always align, right? And don't get me wrong, there's probably been one or two like in the past that I've connected with and maybe wasn't the right fit. But for the most part, once I get to understand what they're looking for and I get to know them, and then they get to know me and how I work, it's just like it's just a flow. And as we go through our coaching experience together, I get to learn more about them. And then I can uncover a little bit more about what I can support them with. So not everybody is going to understand the importance of mind-body connection, right? Not everybody's going to, I'm not going to go into my first coaching session and be like, well, you know, let me talk to you about your morning routine, your daily spiritual practice, okay?
Right.
And it's not anything like religious. I never like put my beliefs on anybody, but it's like your daily spiritual practice is what's for you. But I'm not coming out the gate doing that, right? So it's like I have a process that I go through when I connect with people in coaching. Really, it's about learning who they are, learning what their goals are. And then as we go, if I have a tool or a resource or an experience that I can share with them, then that's what I'm going to do, right? We'll follow the normal process with everybody. But then as I get to know them, little, you know, that's where the nuance comes in for the individual, where I start to just give them a little bit more of what they might need that I have access or resources for.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, and also like have you built have you built like some relationships in terms of like friendship and all that, like with some of your clients?
Yes. And so I had a coach, and I love her so much. She's so amazing. And I look at her coaching practice, and it's just, it's like shows me the art of the possible. But when I look at her, now we connect like on social media because she lives in New Hampshire. But like I just see her living and doing life, and I love it, right? And she can see me living and doing life, right? Because we're humans, right? Yeah. Like the coaching relationship, yes, it's a business relationship, but we're humans living life. And I have a client that was with me from the very beginning of my certification. And it's just so nice to connect with her because we've been working so long together. You build an affinity for that person, right? Like you love them, you want them to like be successful, you want to see their goals come to life. And I love to watch my coachees or my clients on social media just like doing the things. It's so beautiful.
Wow. No, that's good. That's good. I mean, it shows, I feel like it gives you that that grace, you know, like, man, like I'm actually doing what I was meant to be doing from the first place. Like after the 16 years of just not taking that risk, now being able to take the risk and seeing the effect of it is what the most important thing. So now let's go ahead. So I know you mentioned that you did actually mention it. Like you mentioned that you're very from the start when we first did like the little icebreaker, the working out and everything. You actually did run a marathon.
I have marathon. How
was that for you? How was the experience?
It was so good. It was good. It was tough around mile 11. I think it was it 11? I think it was. So I had to go to the bathroom.
Did you stop and went to the bathroom? Or?
Well, listen. So I saw my husband at like mile 7.5 or 8. Okay. And there was a bathroom there. And I was like, oh, there's going to be another one at the next mile marker. There wasn't. So from mile 7.5 to mile 11, I was struggling. But then after that, I was like, yes. So it was hard. It was hard. I'm not going to say, and that's not the only reason, obviously, but that is a very important reason. Okay? So people, just make sure you consider all the things.
Right. Make sure you're ready. Yeah. All the most important things, make sure it's done. Because also you want to be part of the group that finishes first.
No, I just had to finish for my time. Okay. Because and when you run a race, whether it's a 5K, a half marathon, a marathon, an ultra marathon, or whatever, you are your own competition. And that is applicable to life.
Right.
But my goal was to get to under a 2 hour half marathon.
Wow.
And for me, that would have been a stretch because I had just started running again. So, and some people, they're finishing their full marathon at 2 hours. So their race is completely different than mine. So no, I didn't care to be first. And people start front, back, right? That doesn't
Everybody
matter.
bumping into each other.
Yeah, getting out of the whatever they're called. I don't know, corral.
But
or something.
I like how you did put that as to kind of relate it to life.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember Nipsey Hussle. He used to say it's a marathon. He used to use that marathon idea to tell people the life that we're living is a marathon.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, we're running based on our own timing. Because on a marathon, I don't know, like you see everybody just jogging, happy, smiling because that's their time to shine and just feel their true self. Like, just feel good about themselves. And when they're done, it's like, yes, I did it. I did a marathon. Like, it's not more like a competition anymore. It's more like you're just learning more about yourself, how much you can push through.
Right.
To finish out till the end.
That is absolutely that is the same thing that we've been talking about.
Right.
From even before we were sitting down in these chairs, right? Running your own race, doing what is best for you, right? Identifying your own values, all of the stuff is you are doing things that work best for you, and it's a marathon,
Right.
which means you're not paying attention to the person next to you. In fact, that person next to you is motivating you. That's why they have pace setters, right? That's why when you see the Fleet Feet people with their signs, they're pace setters. They're setting the pace for the people around them, and they're encouraging you or they're pulling you up.
So those are like the family, friends in terms of like life.
Mm-hmm.
It's like either your family that's willing to push you till the end or the enemies that's trying to drag you down.
I mean, the enemies that's trying to drag you down, you could use that same energy to push you. Right? Right. Like there's a thing that I like to say, and I've heard a long time. I think it was 2016 or 17. I might have heard it for the first time. And it's all good, but then there's that which we prefer. It's all good, but then there's that which we prefer. So we might not prefer that enemy that's over here breathing down our neck, right? We might want that other person over here saying, you got it, you can do it. But it's all good.
Like keep your friends close, but your enemy closer.
Yeah. Well, that's another conversation.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
But yeah, so now I want to talk about, because you've mentioned that you and your husband get to do a lot of different things, and I was fascinated about the fact that you two were able to come together to pay off your student loans.
You did good research.
So tell us a little bit more about that. Like, how did you guys, team up and came to finishing all of that? And it was like about $67,000.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, tell us more.
That was it. That's exactly it. I don't remember the rest, but it was 67,000. Okay,
Yeah.
There was some change. But oh my gosh, when was it? I think we started in 2018. We started in 2018, and at the time, I was very big in listening to a specific financial person, and I was just all in. I was like, I gotta do this. And before, when we first got married, I'm very independent. Okay, so my husband and I, we met when I was 29. I think 29, 28. So up until that point, my mom, she moved to Georgia when I was a sophomore in college. So from 2005 to 2013, I'm doing what I need to do for myself. So I always had this belief that, like, when I get married, we're going to have separate accounts. It's my money is my money, your money is your money, and like we just going, we don't
But
keep
it's
it
not.
moving
It's
like
not
that,
like
right?
that no more. Like
Well, no,
women say, "My money is my money.
your
His
money is
mine."
my money. But no, I wouldn't think like that. But you know, we do, you know, we did have a joint account, but he had his separate accounts. I had my separate accounts. You know, it was a lot of like money just in different places. So at that time in 2018, I was really just eating up all of this information, financial bloggers, all the things, like all of it. And I had to get him on board. And I didn't, and he wasn't on board at first. Like, not at all. He was like, he's good. He's so good at finances. He's so good at like saving money and just paying off everything all at once. And then me, on the other hand, was like, I work hard. I like to buy myself nice things. I like to eat nice things. You know, I like my money hanging up in my closet or in my belly. That's what I used to say. So 2018, I started thinking like, all of the money that I'm spending and that I'm earning right now is going to pay for my past. Clothes that I gave away, food that's been flushed down the toilet, food that I threw out that I didn't like, clothes that still probably have tags on and never been worn, right? So then collectively, we came together and he was like, okay, I'm on board. We'll start paying down our debt. And we used something called the debt snowball, where we, you know, plugged into the calculator all of our debt, all of our minimum payments, all the things, all the data that you needed. And we looked to see where was our money going. Then we just started throwing any of our extra money to paying down our debt. And then I would say January of 2019, we started really combining all of our stuff. And that was the game changer, when we combined all of our bank accounts and all of our money, because then we were able to see and we were able to see results a lot faster. So we paid down, oh my gosh, I had student loans. We had 2 cars. We went down to 1 car from 2018 all the way to 2 months ago. We had 1 car. And we just paid it off. All of our extra money. He worked extra. I worked extra. We ate basic food, rice and beans and chicken all the time.
Right.
It wasn't easy, but we said no a lot to like
Going
out and friends, you know. But it was for a bigger goal. And then during COVID, you know, there was financially, I think we benefited a little bit from that. We weren't driving. A lot of people weren't driving, right? But I still was employed, which was that security that came from working at that job. But I was still employed where I know a lot of people were not. So it gave us the opportunity to disconnect and then go crazy.
Wow. So it's insane how, like, because you know a lot of times now, people are afraid to share finances because the way because the way the world is.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of men tend to say, "Okay, we're gonna do a prenup if we're sharing finances.
Yeah.
Whatever I bring is what I'm gonna take." In terms of like, because where I'm from is like, I never really heard about divorce or anything. You know, and men and their wives, they would like either share finances, or the man will be the one that's taking care of the money more, and the woman is the one that's making sure the household is well taken care of. And it's like, how did you guys like kind of like build that trust? Because it's not easy. You know, it's not easy because people are afraid to lose, you know, what they have nowadays, because, you know, the way society is functioning.
Honestly, one of the things that one of my strengths is vision, right? Like being able to see like down the line. A lot of times people have just like vision right here. But once I was able to paint the picture for him, to show him like, with all of this gone, what could that mean for us? Like, what would we be able to do with this extra money. So building the trust with him was really about like showing him like if all like what is the art of the possible for us. I do think in the world that we live in, I do think that preparing for stuff like that is important, right? Like you see the stories of people who do go through divorce and, they don't have things in place and someone is financially devastated.
Yep.
And that's why a lot of those resources are available. You do have to prepare. And we don't have that. We didn't think about that stuff, but there are situations where I think it is necessary for people to have like a prenup and stuff like that. And I say it even like funny, but
some people would be mad about that. Like, why are you getting a prenup? What?
But
hey,
you also have to remember like insurance. I worked in the insurance industry forever. But insurance is, you don't ever want to use it.
Right.
You don't want to use it.
Because it goes up.
Well, no, I'm talking about in life.
Oh, in life.
For example. Okay.
Okay.
So a prenup is insurance.
Okay.
Okay. You don't want to get into a car accident because you
true.
don't want to use your insurance because you don't want to get into a car accident.
That's true.
You don't want you're saying, "Oh, I'm not going to write a will because I don't want to die." We're going to die. You have to plan for some of these hard things because things happen. So that's why insurance is there, right? For someone. Like I said, Rod and I, we do not have that. But it's insurance for someone who feels like they need it.
Yeah, if you need it, right.
But you don't want to use it.
Yeah, that's it.
But it's there.
Right.
That's how some people look at
emergency.
it. Right.
But yeah, I mean, that's true. That's true. But yeah, thank you so much. So I just wanted to end off from there. But before ending with my guests, I like for you guys, to just give a word of motivation to the youth, to the young people that's growing up. Because I know I'll have you here next time because I want to talk about Buffalo Prep.
Oh, yeah.
I want to dive. Yeah, I want to dive deep into Buffalo Prep because I want to just have a section for Buffalo Prep so that way people can get to know the program and all that. But yeah, so tell us, what would you say to the young kids that's growing up in order for them, to see themselves, doing something that they always wanted to do in the future, to continue to push and never give up?
I would say these are words from my coach. I'm going to pay it forward, okay? If there's a dream that's been put on your heart, it is there for a reason. And my coach specifically says, like, if the dream is in you, it's for you. And what I'm going to add to it is that it's okay for you to run your own race. It's okay for you to be different, to, live a life that people don't understand, but fill your cup up first. Do what it is that you need to do for yourself and envision yourself, the highest version of yourself every single day. And ask yourself if what it is that you're doing today aligning with that vision. Because what we do today is going to absolutely impact who we are tomorrow.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Gosh. I'm so happy.
I'm happy as well. But guys, thank you so much, man. This is Isip Child Podcast. Like I said, don't forget to like, comment, and share this video. And your Instagram, actually, so they can check you out.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at Ashley Shantae, SHONTEA. And then I'm also on TikTok, Ashley Shantae as well. And then Radiate Coaching on all the platforms as well for my business, which is radiatecoaching.com.
Amen. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Ashley. And thank you, guys. I have a wonderful day. Let's go.